Welcome to Asian Media Network and to the ParenTea talk show that I'm so excited to embark on this journey with you. I'm Mai Lei, your host for this talk show. ParenTea is the talk show that designed for Asian American parents or the multicultural family who strive to build a strong bonding relationship between parent and children. Each week, we will dive into the challenge faced by parents and how they work to raise their children in the heart of America. We will talk about different things, different tips for parenting, and different ideas that would help the parent and the children create an environment that fostering understanding, loving, and grow together. And of course, none of this could be possible without our esteemed co-host, Dr. Khanh Tran. I would like to welcome Dr. Khanh Tran to the show.
Thank you very much. I appreciate again the opportunity, and I'm glad to be back.
Thank you. Dr. Khanh Tran, we have had the last previous show about ParenTea, and as usual, we begin our talk show with drinking some tea. Tea is the tradition in our Asian culture. Instead of drink wine or drink other like cocktail like the modern day, we drink tea. And the tea is just a way to start any conversation, right? So today I would like you to share with me jasmine tea. I love jasmine tea because of the fragrance of it. And on the other side, what kind of tea you have today?
I am drinking mint tea.
Mint tea. I love mint tea. Like sometimes they use fresh mint. Is that fresh? Mm-hmm.
This one is not so fresh, but good enough.
Good. Well, that's good tea to start our conversation today. Talk about ParenTea. So, in the conversation that we talk on previous talk show, we talk about how to deal with kids who have they do something wrong and how we correct them and guide them to do things right. But another thing that we do, I think communication is very important. How did the parent tell the kid to do the thing that they want them to do effectively? And I noticed that sometimes if we raise our voice to talk to the children, they don't listen and they do it, but they're not like happy. Like you can see in their facial expression that they're not happy. They do it because they've been yelled at. But if you be too nice and just say, hey, do this for mom or do this for dad, and you look back, a few minutes later, they still didn't get it done, and you have to say that so many times. So how to say that effective? Just one time, and the kid will follow you. I guess Dr. Khanh Tran will have some tips or some answer for us.
Yes, and as a matter of fact, we can start with that. Having an assertive tone can also be a calm tone. Mm-hmm. So assertive tone with a much more harsh tone may not be as effective. But maybe we can get back to that. On the top of the list, I often tell parents we start with paying attention. That's where it begins. To get the child to do what we need to do to be good or to be bad or to avoid that, we have to really develop very effective communication. That's how we're going to exchange and share ideas and thoughts between the parent and the child. The more effective we are, the stronger the communication. So paying attention, we start with, and what follows afterward is once again listening. So paying attention means to just completely attend to the child entirely and fully, where the child is in the presence of this moment that we're offering, which allows the child the opportunity to share and speak. So when they do, we listen.
So why don't we just give an example? So for example, my son who loves play video game, and he would like to be in his room, lock the door in there, and he can play in there, play all day. He enjoyed to doing that. How would I be able to come into the room and ask him to stop play video game and do the other thing? For example, come out to eat dinner or take a shower or just do homework. I mean, instead of have to say it several times, can I just say it one time and he will listen? What would you do if you were me? What you do, Dr. Tran?
Well, I would actually ask him to invite me to participate in his game. I don't have to necessarily play it because I'm really not good at games to begin with. Mm-hmm. But what I do with children a lot, including my own child, is I will engage with the child in the game. Now, it has really nothing to do with the game. It's really the connectivity.
I see.
Because it is in that connectivity that will allow me to speak to a child way that the child will comply. So here we go. I would ask if it would be okay if I can see what you're playing. I'm just interested in how you are, let's say, interested in this world of game. I may not fully understand it, but because it's something you're interested in, can you show me? Can you teach me? And then after a while, maybe 20, 30 minutes of doing so, you can prepare for whatever amount of time that you need before you have dinner. You entertain yourself, allowing your child to show you, and they're in the position of educating you, which is empowering itself. But you're connecting with the child. You're learning from the child the game. And then after a while, you may be inclined to say, hey, you know what? Why don't we have dinner? After dinner, can you spend another 15 minutes with me showing that game again? I really like to know the other aspects of this game that makes it so interesting for you. You just set it up that way. And guess what the child will do? Say, okay, yeah. So being genuine and being curious that's what we want our kids to be. They feel better about themselves that way anyways. And if they can be curious with you being curious, they're more inclined to comply.
Actually, that's a good idea if the parent have time. For busy parent who got home and just have maybe a little bit of time to prepare for dinner and spend a little bit of time with their kid, and then it's already time to bedtime. With busy parent, what would you advise a tip to still be able to connect with their children, but it's going to be if they have limited time?
Yes, please get unbusy, because you're in essence saying to me that you're too busy for your child. Now the child will feel that. They will know when they are not as important as your job or important. And I get it. We all work. I work. Yeah, I work 6 days a week, but I always have to make sure that I set the time to be unbusy so that I can be there for my child. Now, let's say you're busy and you're preparing dinner. You can still have your child invite you in his or her room and say, hey, could you do me a favor? Right now, we're preparing for dinner. After dinner, can you show me what you're doing? I'm kind of interested in what, even if we cannot be too busy to spend 15 minutes of our time learning what the child is experiencing. And if we are, maybe parenting is not the thing for us.
Well, thank you for the tip that you share. For example, there's another thing that maybe we can use your advice for the change some habit. Let's say if your child have certain habits that you don't like and you want them to change. I should give an example. For example, my daughter would take her a long time to finish meal. She would sit there starting the same dinner with us, but she's always the last. So because she's in the middle of eating and then she check her phone, then she would do something and I don't know, but it's always she the last one and it take a long time for her to finish her meal. What would be the effective way to change the child habit so that she can be better or, have a better habit than the bad habit?
Oh, sure. So you can set a directive, but remember you have to engage too. So what I mean by that is maybe no phones during meals, but you have to afterwards. You can say, "Hey, I noticed that you're on your phone a lot during your meals." So you set a directive, maybe during dinners. We set aside our phone, but afterwards, can you show me what some of the things that kids your age are interested in, the type of music or the videos or the type of... I'm all about the parent engaging with the child so that the child feels connected, which again allows the child to comply. So it's not just the child perceiving that they're not allowed to do that because they're being punished, right? It's just they will learn that this is a time where it is maybe a family time where we can spend, and you don't have to force them to speak. You should never force a teenager to speak. They will speak if we first learn to listen. But then again, like I said, set a directive, maybe no phones during dinner, but engage with the child afterwards. So that what is important that you're keeping track anyways where the child's at. You're following his or her progress or evolution. And more importantly, whatever the child's interested in, they're showing you, you get a better understanding what their status is, what their cognitive or thinking status is, or what their emotional status is.
And speaking about that, Dr. Khanh Tran, I know that some of the family, what they do is the parent tell the kid that do not get on the device. This is family time, blah, blah, blah. And the kid did not listen. So what they do? There was a device that you can turn on and turn off Wi-Fi. And the parents had hit the button that none of the Wi-Fi work. And basically, without Wi-Fi, the kid cannot use the device or anything. Even the adult, like some of the adults, can use that too. So during that dinner time, Wi-Fi was turned off, and then when they're done dinner, they turn it back on, or whatever the time that the family set. However, I do think that if with your tip or your advice would work well, I would rather follow that because that shows that the kid will have to be responsible. Teach them to be responsible. There's time for anything. So some other things about the communication is also to sometimes you want to talk to your children and see what's going on in their mind. There could be sometimes they go home and they were so sad, they don't talk to us, or they can have bad grade and they try to hide. How do we be able to make the children open up to talk to us about anything?
Yes, I think that's always important that the child can communicate. So what I have done with my child, and she's 14, she's about to be 15, 4 weeks during the week, during this past week, all she wanted to do is spend a lot of time with me. And I'll tell you how I did it. It really starts with this. It's very easy. Listening. So she knows that when she gets with me, I am in complete silence. I give her no advice. And I could give her a lot of sage advice if she asked for it. But she's not coming to me so that I can preach to her. So sometimes our mistake is we give unsolicited advice that children and adolescents do not call for or care for. So she knows each time she wants to go to breakfast, which we have did twice this week. And we had 3 dinners together this week because she just wanted to do dinner. Because she knows I will listen. Listening here means to listen utterly, not to listen so that you can wait for your turn to speak. That's not listening. that's impatient. And that's the other thing about effective listening. Effective communication from a conscious parenting perspective. It's listening with a whole lot of patience. And why I say that is because sometimes a lot of what the child shows you, like a video, or what she shares with you, you may not agree with. But remember, it's not always about us. The child is her own self as well. So if you listen, you get this opportunity to hear what the child has to say, and you get a glimpse into her inner verse, her experiences, in a way that you may not if you do not listen.
But that is in the case that the child is like to talk or outrovert. If you have a child that introvert who doesn't like to talk and quiet, how do you get them to talk, to open up so you can listen?
It's very good. So you can do 2 things. You start with listening. So as it turns out, my child is a complete introvert. Quiet, just will not. But she's a social introvert. So she can speak if given an opportunity. Anyone can speak, whether introvert or extrovert, when given an opportunity. It is the way we listen once again. Effective listening is empathic listening. It's compassionate listening. It's conscious listening. So it's not just listening to words, as I said, and then waiting for an opportunity to speak. It's just listening to the underlying reason or meaning behind what the child says. Introverts, if you get them to listen, like my child, oh my goodness, they will listen forever. The longest that we have listened, and she's an introvert, is 3.5 hours from 9 p.m. to about 12:30 p.m. I sat with her because she came out from the bedroom from her sleep and she just wanted to talk. 3.5 hours.
What would she talk about? Is that something bother her? Yes.
You got it. Yes. Okay. So if there are things that concerns her, she needs to address. Now, introverts are not inclined to express themselves because they tend to hold everything in. So their thoughts, their emotions in. However, if you set up the right, or you set up a conscious setting for the child, where the child is, as I say, feeling validated, or I have said before, feeling validated in that setting, even the most quiet introverts spend hours on end to share what she or he feels and thinks.
Yes, and I also noticed that, I mean, it's good that Dr. Khanh Tran, you have a very good bonding relationship with your daughter. And that is everybody, all parents wish to have that kind of bonding with their kid. For those that who already not able to connect with their children, how do they start to fix it? How can they start so that the children can start feel like comfortable, open up, communicate with their parent, and create a bonding and under mutual understanding and loving between the two?
Yes. So as it turns out, half of my clients are adolescents and teenagers. They've come to an age and a point where they have to come see me because maybe they feel that their parents aren't listening in a way that matters or is meaningful. It's never too late, though. It's never too late. Meaning, if you were to go to a child and you're able to listen, as I refer to as compassionate listening or empathetic listening, that kind of listening will open up the doors for the possibility of better communication between you and your child. So going to them and perhaps at this point saying, you know what? As I think about it, the past 14 years, being your parent, I don't think I have been as effective a listener for you the way I could have been. I would like to start today. Can we have a moment where you and I can sit and I ask you a series of questions so that I can better understand where you're coming from? It starts with that. And boy, if you had not listened before and you listen now empathically or compassionately, there'll be a shift because there is a difference in the way that you listen.
Yes, and sometimes maybe the parent can ask the children that, first of all, accept that we make mistake, right? We wasn't a good listener before, and now we want to make things work. If the kid, especially teenager, meaning they only have a couple years left before they go to college, then maybe this is the time to fix things so that we can still have that bonding with the child, and maybe set up the rule that 10-15 minutes each day after dinner, and just go to the room and spend time with the kid and ask how the day go. And at first, maybe the kid, if we don't do that every day and suddenly we start it, the kid gonna feel like not cooperative. They're gonna be either just want the parent get out of the room so they can on their own thing, play a video game or on the phone or something. But everything, I think, is started by the habit. At first, maybe it's annoying first few days, but anything like after 21 days, it's become a habit. And if you don't show up the day you were late, you don't show up to your kid room, the kid like, how come parent not coming to my room today? Just like during the pandemic, we're not used to get locked in to the house. Well, after 21 days, now a lot of people prefer to stay in house than to go outside, because after 21 days, it's become a habit. And it takes that long to build a good habit. So for that, Dr. Khanh Tran, if you're going to give tip, in summary, if you could give us a tip for effective communicate between parent and the child, can you just share with us in a bullet point kind of like summary format?
Yes. So this is crucially important. Watch your tone and language. Language matters. When I hear a parent say, I need for you to do what I say, or you live under my roof, you follow my rules, or how many times do I have to tell you? This kind of language can be very hurtful to the child, because what it does is sends a clear message, and that is, you're a disappointment to me. And children will feel that in the tone in which we use. And then to add the language that we sometimes use, that's one way to create a schism between you and the child. So again, effective communication, pay attention, listen, calm tone, encourage, watch your expressions, watch your language, and watch your tone.
So beside the tone, what the language that we say, I know that, like you mentioned, parents like to take the authority. And I hear that from some mother. I can bring you to this world and I can take you out of this world. So Vietnamese would say something like, tao đẻ ra mày được mà, tao có thể destroy you or something. So that is very harsh to the child, even to the adult. Even the adult, we can accept something, but when we hear this, it's actually hurtful too. So for a children, the tip is that Dr. Khanh Tran mentioned is that something that as parent, we need to be mindful. So what next besides your voice, your tone, and language that if we want to teach the kids to be respectful, we need to be respectful as well. So
yes, Something I like to talk about is praising too, because there's so negativity in tone and language, and the child is influenced or impacted by that so much. Sometimes we forget that praising once in a while can be very encouraging for the child. Now, praising, interestingly enough, doesn't have to be by way of words like "great job." I see some parents say that, and that's okay if you moderate that. You can't say every time because it loses its meaning and value. But praising here I'm talking about is your presence. Consider how powerful that would be, that you don't have to praise the child to help her feel good. When you're just paying attention, attending to the child, that makes her feel good. So the type of attention, going back to that, is the abiding presence that you offer the child is the praise. She feels good because she is heard. She's understood.
That's good. Thank you for that good tip, Dr. Tran. So I hear that besides that the tone, the word that we use, but also, I'm sorry, what
Our expressions, right?
a facial
Also,
expression,
language.
Language.
Yes. Listening, of course, paying attention, and make an effort to try to understand. If you can do anything as a parent that you could offer a child, and it's the only thing that you would offer, is spend the rest of your life just trying to understand the child. Not telling the child what to do, trying to understand the child. The child will figure out what to do. Just trying to understand.
Yes. So I would say, for example, some parent would see that if you want to change, even just like the posture, like some kid, they have certain posture that the parent think that it would help them to maybe like sit up straight or look at people in the eyes. How would you say in a way that your kid will cope with that?
I would not. So the reason why is because perhaps for whatever reason the posture is off, or the expression is askew, or the language is harsh from the child. There's always a reason why, so we have to be very conscious about trying to impose a lot of expectations on the child. And remember, once upon a time I said, there's a lot of expectation already imposed on the child from you, the parents, from teachers, from society. So there's a lot of pressure already employed or imposed. What the child needs is not another authoritarian like a teacher, a pastor, a police officer, or society telling her what to do. What she needs is a parent who understands, So let the child just be. It's not hurting anyone if the child's slouching, or it's not hurting anyone if the posture is not accurate. The child will figure out life, his and herself. To just add another aspect of pressure on the child, it will just cause more tension and havoc than they really need.
Yes. And I also know that in the family, especially have more than one sibling, the parent, I don't know, maybe it's not intention, but the parents seem to praise on the kid that doing well in school, academically, and demonstrate the leadership and seem like to listen to the parent, versus the other kid that who not. What would you advise in those situations, what the parents should do?
And how about not praise at all? We have to be very careful. Again, sometimes praise can be misused. And the problem with a lot of praise, that's why I'm not for it. Although I will get a lot of complaints about this. The reason why I'm not for it is because sometimes we become so dependent on praise in our search for validation. So we have to be very careful. So the only praise I would recommend is, as I said, just paying attention with the child. When you are attending very carefully, the child is experiencing praise. Praise because you're attending, you're giving all of yourself to the child. And this is important because you are the most important thing for the child. Now be careful praising one child and not the other. Comparison is a very, very precarious thing. It's a very damaging thing. And children know. If you ask adults, if they have siblings, and you ask them, who was your parents' favorite? Just about every time a parent, the adult will say, oh, it's my sister or my brother or it was me. And the parent has never said anything. Children are hypersensitive and they're built to know.
Well, but in a way, I know that it's hard for parents because they want to encourage kids that do well, perform well, versus kids that not. So maybe there should be a balance that, and again, it comes back to effective communication. The way parents should communicate somehow that will motivate kid or reward kid to do well, but also motivate kid that not doing so well to be able to change to perform better, both in school and and everything in life, aspect of life.
Yeah, remember to socialize. We're social beings. We're human beings. 98% of us are built to socialize. So use that. Use that medium to encourage. Use that medium to support. And use that medium to understand the child. If we want a respectful child, then socialize. Pro-social behaviors are built through contact, through learning from parents and learning from teachers, right? So criticism is not necessary. All we have to do is use words of encouragement through communication and support. They will thrive from that.
So that means, from what I hear, will you advise the parent talk to each children privately or have like personal time with them, and that's the time when you can give compliment or maybe again try not to critique, but if they do well, that is the time to compliment them instead of constantly do that in front of the other sibling, the other child.
Yes. As an example, just yesterday my child was 14, about to be 15 in 5 months. She wanted to drive, so we went out for a drive, but she wanted me to teach her. So what I did is I got out of the car. She came, sat in the driver's seat, and I handed her the keys. I trusted that she knew. I trusted that she can do it herself. So that's encouragement. I did not want to sit in the car because she would spend too much time worrying about my worry. So this is her experience. She gets to drive for the very first time. So I allowed her to drive. And she figured it all out. She did that because she sensed and felt that I would be there to encourage her. So it's powerful when praise and encouragement has nothing to do with what we say. It's how we act, how we hand her the keys and allowed her to believe that she can do it herself. And she figured it out. And within 5 minutes, she was driving around the parking lot and she knew how to swerve. That's all because I stood on the side of the parking lot, the street, and just watched. And from time to time, she'll gaze over. I gave an encouragement. I given her a compassionate gaze, just looking at her and smile. I didn't have to say, great job, well done. I could have. It would probably help her, but it wasn't needed. She was already encouraged.
Yes. Therefore, so that was wonderful because I really did remember my driving lesson with my father, and he sat next to me. I already have a written permit, but my dad was so nervous. He was like, every time we get to the stop sign, he was like, stop, stop, stop. And he was screaming because he was afraid I'm going to hit something. And within that 2 hours, my dad teaching me how to drive, I still remember to the point that the next day I already know how the car works. And the next day I took the car by myself. I get up early. I took the car by myself, go to the parking lot near the church nearby in the neighborhood and drive it myself without any supervision. And my parents get up, they don't see me, they don't see the car, and they hear ambulance. They were so panicked, think that I got into an accident. And here I am, to drive the car back. And everybody in the house was like, panic, were looking for me. So I never forget that experience. But again, if my dad would calm when he's teaching me, then I would not take the car by myself. But because my dad was like very anxious and he's afraid and he was like screaming and he was, so I feel like it's a little stressful for me to learn when a little bit emotion like that. And I guess it's because that was the first time and my father think that I am new, so he want to be more protective, but in a way that make me even more nervous. So coming back from my own experience and from what you shared, Dr. Khanh Tran, is speak with a calm voice. The children will, or anybody, will, accept it and more cooperative with us. So that be more effective. And I guess that also conclude our conversation today. Our talk show today is about effective communication with your child. Before we say goodbye to the audience, is there anything else you would like to share, Dr. Tran?
I think that's mainly it. I just want to make sure that we understand that we can impact our children based on the way we communicate with them, like your experience with your dad. As conscious parents, we must be aware of that because that impact can be a great one. And it doesn't necessarily create for a good memory either. So we can isolate ourselves if the communication is not as effective. So listen, pay attention, and then allow the child to be.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Khanh Tran, for your invaluable advice and tips on how to be a better parent. And thank you, listener, for watching our show. If you have any question about parenting, and if you have any personal problem, family problem with your child that you need help, we was at one phone call away. Call the number 307-655-5510. Again, 307-655-5510, and make the appointment with Dr. Khanh Tran so he can spend more time with you and help you and your children to be, help you to become a better parent, but also create a bonding and mutual understanding and respect between you and your child. I'm Miley, hosting for the parenting show, and also thanks to Dr. Khanh Tran for co-host with us. We wish everyone a good, enjoy your day and enjoy your week, and looking forward to connect with everyone again next weekend when we continue our ParenTea talk show.